and welcome everyone. Just some headlines. Easy to use financial reporting. SharperLight interacts with the Aqilla accounting system via a secure logon, and the query builder that we're going to be looking at in a short while. This provides the design capabilities and supports the production of information in Excel and over the web. Okay, so we'll go straight into an Excel file here, and the requirement is identified as being a budget variance report on P&L accounts for the period of January 2012, which according to our fiscal calendar is period 4. This file has these headings prepared already. You can see from, to, period, and they are in fact named cells, and hopefully we'll have a table of results produced shortly. To access the SharperLight functions options, we can look in the Add-in tab, and here we have SharperLight Query Manager and so forth. We can also access it through the right-click Query Manager, and I have it here in the custom toolbar also. So we'll start with the Query Manager, and this will take us very quickly through. Type in the title of the report and click the New button. Comply with the login requirement. Okay, and we have the Query Builder window available to us. We'll just move the Query Manager over there. Okay, make this a bit bigger. The top of the screen here shows us some initial mandatory filters, and the mode of the report, summary, that's fine for this example. We're gonna have a table of results. The underlying product, Aqilla, and company reference. We can click on the icon here, which will show us in this example we have a multi-company. We have 2 companies available, but we'll stick with Williams Demo anyway. And next we choose a table from the company database. Various tables available, customer lists and so forth, but the ledger table is where our actual postings for the year and previous years will be found, so we'll stick with that. Okay, having chosen the ledger, we're presented with these Aqilla data sources in the selection pane. These are the fields from your Aqilla table. It's live, it's available live, and we're going to choose items from the selection pane to add more filters. We'll also do the same, choose items to put into the outputs pane to give us the results for the report. Okay, we have a budget variance, so we're going to have an actual column, a budget column, and a calculation. We need to, in Aqilla, the main ledger is where the actuals are going to come from, and we need to pick up another ledger name, and this time using the logical lookups we can pick budget, and we'll rename this one budget ledger BL. And next we can go for a period filter. We're looking for January 2012 results, so we can type in the period values in the from, and there it is in the to, so it's basically limited to that one period. And in addition we put an account code range into the filters, and again we can type values in here, so P1000, and it's not validating the account codes here, it's up to you, it's flexible to type in. Alternatively, we can use the logical lookup and we can expose the full table of account codes, B for balance sheet codes, P for profit and loss, and we can cherry pick, or we can choose a range and reset the range of codes available. We'll stick with what we've got. That's fine. Now we need to choose some output fields. We'll start with account code, just drag the field across, account name, and a value. Now this value is going to be actual, and we'll have another value dragged across, which will be, we'll change the caption here, which will be our budgets. Okay, now we need to tie these value columns into the ledger names we set earlier. Double click here and we can say, okay, this is the actual column, it's going to look at the main ledger values, and this is the budget column, it's going to look at the budget ledger columns. Having set those, we can now look at adding an expression. Open up the functions. We have actuals minus budget. Change the caption here. Variance. Let's have a look at the results on the preview tab. And there we have the calculated variance, totals and so forth. Just the accounts that we've specified in the account range. Let's go back to the query now, because we're getting close to putting it into Excel. But before we do, we can set links to the Excel cells themselves, which has a considerable advantage. So we double click here and we see the name cell reference is in the from value. Click on there and there's the to period. Click on this one, from account to account. Okay. We'll OK the query, and the name is now registered in the query manager. Simply drag it into Excel to show the results. And of course, once in Excel, we, instead of using the query manager now, or the query builder, we can simply change references in here to the account range. We could make it 2012 period 1, so it's from October to December, and so forth. And that gives us considerable flexibility. We can also use the logical lookup from the Excel cell reference. So double click here and we see the selection list of account codes that we can cherry pick from. And same thing on the to account. Selection list is available. And that is the completed query. Now, in addition, we can double click on the query table itself to perform drill downs, which are ad hoc drill downs. Basically, you go wherever you want to go. Here we're just going to produce a listing of dates and references for this particular balance. And SharperLight uses a window called Explorer for drill down purposes. So there's the extra detail. We can even choose a row here and drill further into that. It creates drill down tabs, drill down 1, 2, etc. And these results can be saved to various means, to a report pack if they need to be used later. So that's the ad hoc drill down, but there's also the capability for a drill through, which is a targeted drill down. That means that it saves work because the user does not have to specify which fields they want. It's a known style of further information required, so we can preset the details. Okay, we're going to look shortly at various report examples in Excel, but before we do, just to show you here the formula that's anchored to the spreadsheet, we're going to open the query up now and show that we can publish the same query onto the web. And in fact, there was a previous example, so I can delete that report. And here we're going to create a new one. Type in the title. Okay, and then we have a series of tabs. The security tab. This is where you set permissions. So it's very powerful control over who can see the information, whether they need to log on to the web page to gain secure access. You can set various characteristics there, and all the other tabs along here, along the top, are just different styles of the presenting the same query. So you can have a report, and various criteria can be set there. A table. We'll have a look at these in a second. You can limit the number of rows and how often the page refreshes. SharperLight. A chart. So different bar option, chart options, bar, line, pie, etc., etc. Motion charts. And pivot table. And that's quite like that feature myself. RSS feeds, Excel PDF format, and you can see the enable button at the top of these tab sections. This suggests that this style of report will appear on the web page. So obviously you can turn this on and off. If you think a pivot table doesn't apply, then you can disable that. Caching enables you to set a schedule to refresh the report. So if you have a large report, you may not want that refreshing on a regular basis. The information may be relatively static for a day or so, and you can ask Windows Task Scheduler to refresh it at certain times. The final tab here is really where you're able to define the access to the different reports. Each report has its unique URL address, and that can be copied into your web page as an iframe. At the bottom here we have the menu in full, and these reports, in a second we'll open up the menu page of the web channel. Okay, so just to show that you can go into this and edit the query in Publisher just the same as you can within Excel, and you can hide filters. So the filter may be available in Excel, but may not be the case in Publisher. That's we'll unhide that again. Okay. Now let's go to the internet and just have a look at my web page. We can see here that the new budget variance that we've just created appears on here, and here are the different style reports: a table, a SharperLight table, chart, pivot table, and so on. So we'll have a look at the table. Very straightforward, no filters offered. So if we go to the report, this time the filters have come through. They can be changed, the filter values can be changed to a different range. Submit the details, and there we have the full report available on the web channel. Okay, this is my particular web channel. Obviously, you can make this far more interesting in terms of presentation on your own web page. Aqilla's, for example, is very interesting. Each particular report is shown here. So the pivot table has been restricted to this particular query. We can go into that as a pivot table. And submit. And here we can put the account code. We'll put the period across into the column and the period name, makes it a bit more informative, and the base value into the measures, and populate. And there we have the pivot table results, all the periods in period order from or for the current fiscal year. Okay, let's look at the demonstration samples of in Excel. Here we have tab sections of different style reports. The first one, sales history. You can see a graph attached, filters here for, I'll change this to December 12. You see the values and the chart changes. We can click on a row and we can double click it, and it shows us here the drill down options, which may be ad hoc. You have to choose which fields you want to show. Alternatively, we've got some drill throughs, so I know that people will be interested in year-to-date transactions when I design the report, so I can build that into the design, and someone in Hong Kong can open up this query and then do a year-to-date transaction list for it. So let's just open that up, and the Explorer window appears, and the balance, the total, agrees with the December report value. Okay, the next report along shows a slice and dice into the Aqilla data, event codes, project codes, again filter periods and so forth, with performance information. Then we come to a budget variance report, far more elaborate, considerable content here, current month, year-to-date variance, comparisons against previous year, so forth. Now if we click on a particular value here, we can right-click SharperLight, drill down. We have a drill through to invoices, and there we have all the invoices for this particular balance of 26,000. We could choose, if there were further details to show, we could drill down further on that and open up a second drill down tab. Let's put description in there, and there we have not a great deal of extra information on this example, but the principle is there. Okay, now this report could obviously be company orientated, it could be project orientated, with your workbook full of different departmental reports. You have an option here to recalculate the entire worksheet, and the difference, I suppose, between this one and previous queries is that this, if we open up the query, this one is an aggregation. Now all that means is rather than a summary report. This particular query, as it demonstrates, puts the entire result into one cell, and the cell value is based on external cell references. So if we press F2, we see that the account code reference is over here to the right, out of the way, but basically once you design the query, of course, it can be copied down a report with your different Excel anchor points to refer to the different references. So very quick method of producing very, very flexible reports. The other reports, of course, the table as this one, this is going to give you a table of results, and this one gives you a result for a cell and enables you to do all the calculations. Usually the easiest is to do it within Excel itself. SharperLight operates very, very well within Excel. Flash variance report. Again, we have the option here of having a refresh button. So if I type in January 2012 and hit the refresh button, the 149 changes to 176. We can do a drill down into sales transactions and scroll down all of those to the total customers shown there, and as I said, we could save this out if the results were needed to be kept. We could save it into various formats. Variance values calculated correctly, headings formatted to include the runtime criteria. Next, the project spend. Values here coming from the main ledger, from the hard commitment ledger, the committed spend, all compared against the budget ledger, and suggesting here with a conditional formatting that how much of the budget has been compromised, or by how much it's been compromised, shown in red. Okay, and then we have a group multi-company report. This Williams Demo Company, ATR is a different company, and we use for this we can use what's called a subquery, which is like a child query to the parent, and that of course gives us extra capabilities along with the calculations of a group consolidated total. A few draft examples here calculating the average overdue payment performance of customers, the due date, when it was actually matched, paid as it were on the system, how many days that overran, and this in fact is a running average. We could take values out of this and just end up with a summary by each individual customer, giving us an idea how long they take to pay their debt. Just to show here an aged debtors report extended beyond 120 days. All of this is capable of being designed within SharperLight and of course made available over the web.